So you've done it. You put in the work, you saved your money, you invested wisely, and you climbed that career ladder. That constant nagging financial anxiety that used to keep you up at night, yeah, it's probably starting to feel like a distant memory. On paper, you are absolutely winning. So, why are we talking about this? Because the very comfort that your wealth has created is, believe it or not, quietly setting you up for a whole new set of dangers. Okay, let's get into it. And this quote right here, this is the entire heart of what we're exploring today. The threats to your money, they evolve. They get smarter as you get richer. The dangers you're facing now are more subtle, they're sneakier, and honestly, they can be way more destructive than the ones you've already beaten. The game has totally changed, and that old playbook that got you here, it's pretty much obsolete. It is time for a new one. And this brings us right to this fascinating idea, the success paradox. It's this strange, almost cruel irony that the confidence and security you've worked so hard for are the very things that now make you vulnerable. You've built this wonderful financial cushion, right? But that cushion makes it just a little too easy to let your guard down. I mean, just think about it for a second. When your net worth was low, you were a hawk. You watched every single dollar. You defended that gap between what you earned and what you spent like your life depended on it. Because, well, it kind of did. But as that gap gets wider and you start to feel secure, that relentless vigilance is almost always the first thing to go. Which leads us right into our first major trap, and trust me, it is a big one. Lifestyle creep. Now, you've probably heard of this before, right? It's that natural tendency to spend more as you earn more. But it works differently and way more dangerously when you have a higher income. This isn't just about buying a nicer car. This is about accidentally dismantling the entire wealth-building engine that got you to this point. Now check out the math on this slide, because this is where it gets really crazy. Look at this. The person earning 150 grand keeps their discipline, saves 30%, and puts away $45,000 a year. Solid. But the person who gets that huge raise to 250, they let their lifestyle inflate, their savings rate gets cut in half, and they actually end up saving less money. They're earning $100,000 more, but they are literally building wealth slower. The math is just brutal, isn't it? It's so counterintuitive. The higher earner is actually falling behind. And look, this is not about telling you not to enjoy your success. Not at all. It's about being intentional. When your income jumps, you have to decide right then and there what slice goes to your lifestyle and what slice goes to your future. If you don't have a plan, I promise you, lifestyle inflation will eat every last penny. And this right here is the engine that drives that inflation. It's the comparison treadmill. See, as you get more successful, your whole world changes. Your social circle, your neighborhood, it all levels up. Your new friends and colleagues have bigger houses, they take fancier vacations. The pressure, whether it's spoken or unspoken, to keep up is just immense. But here's the thing, there is always somebody with more. It's a race you are guaranteed to lose every single time. The only way off this treadmill is to consciously decide to step off. But you know, the external pressure to spend, that's only half the battle. Our next trap is maybe even more dangerous because it's completely internal. It's not about what you buy, it's about what you start to believe about yourself. Let's talk about the toxic duo of overconfidence and complexity. This is such a huge trap. Just because you are a brilliant software engineer or a doctor or just a really disciplined saver, you start to think you're a genius stock picker or have some sort of Midas touch with risky investments. And this overconfidence makes people abandon the boring, simple, effective habits that built their wealth in the first place, like diversification and patience, for exciting new strategies that, let's be honest, often end in total disaster. And as soon as your net worth hits a certain level, a whole industry pops up just to sell you this complexity. You'll get pitched all these sophisticated products, hedge funds, private equity, things that require a whiteboard and a flowchart to even explain. But you have to remember this one key thing. Complexity is how they justify charging you massive fees. And more often than not, those fees eat up any extra returns you might have gotten. The irony is that simple, boring, low-cost index funds usually end up performing better anyway. So how do you defend yourself against this stuff? With this checklist, it's your shield. Next time someone pitches you some complex, exclusive fund, just calmly run through these questions. Start with number 1. What specific problem does this solve that a simple S&P 500 index fund can't? If they can't give you a crystal clear, compelling answer, that's a huge red flag. It probably means the complexity serves them way more than it serves you. Okay, so we've diagnosed the big problems, right? The traps are laid out. Now what? How do we actually fix this? Well, it's going to require a real evolution in your mindset. It requires a whole new set of rules for being financially vigilant. This slide is everything. You see, those frugal habits that got you started are great, but as your wealth grows, you have to stop asking $3 questions and start asking $30,000 questions. Obsessing over the price of a latte while your financial advisor is quietly skimming a 1% fee off your portfolio, a fee that's costing you tens of thousands of dollars a year, that's a classic case of winning the battle but losing the war. And these are your new $30,000 questions. A single smart tax strategy can save you more in 1 year than a decade of skipping coffees. Seriously, taking an afternoon to audit your investment fees to find and cut those hidden costs can literally add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your nest egg over time. Making sure you have the right insurance protects all this hard work from a single catastrophic event. This is where the real leverage is now. Which brings us to our final and maybe the most important question of all. After you've dodged all these traps and you've adopted this new kind of vigilance, you have to answer the biggest question of them all. What is this money actually for? It's so easy to fall into this trap. The very habits that built your wealth, the saving, the investing, the living below your means, they can become your whole identity. You start looking at your net worth like it's a score in a video game, and the number itself becomes the goal instead of what that number is supposed to unlock for you: freedom, security, experiences, generosity. So, as we wrap things up here, these are the core principles I really want you to take with you. First, always protect the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That's your wealth engine. Second, embrace the power of simplicity. Resist anyone trying to sell you on complexity. And finally, and this is the big one, define what enough actually means to you based on your own values, not on what your neighbor just bought. I really want to leave you with this final thought. Building wealth, that's only half the journey. The other half is actually using that wealth to build a life you truly want to live. So take a moment and really ask yourself, what will your future self thank you for?